The CPD Source, your one-stop shop for budget-friendly CPD. In our very first episode, we take a look at the book Black Edge by Sheila Kolatkar, published by Random House in 2017. Inside information, dirty money, and the quest to bring down the most wanted man on Wall Street. While it reads like a crime thriller, it is worth mentioning that Black Edge is based on true events. Black Edge tells the story of Stephen A. Cohen and his revered hedge fund empire that was SAC Capital. With insider trading being the underlying theme, the events that unfold in this book and your takeaways are definitely relevant to CPAs. After today's discussion, you will rethink what is considered insider information, and hopefully, you can increase your awareness towards maintaining confidentiality of privileged information. Let's start with an overview of the book. Black Edge revolves around Stephen A. Cohen, one of Wall Street's most revered hedge fund managers, and his group of hedge funds, SAC Capital Advisors. Black Edge consists of two parallel stories. The first one tells the story of how Cohen's empire was built on insider trading. Traders and portfolio managers would go out of their way to find tips and information that no one else had, using innovative channels and even betraying close friends in the process. The second one tells the story of the FBI and the SEC's investigation into the activities taking place in Cohen's empire. Before digging into the book, the title Black Edge appears to be a strange choice, but the reasoning becomes clear partway into the book. It turns out that the name Black Edge is derived from the tiered system of information that traders and managers possessed. The purpose of this tiered identification system was to help them stay out of trouble as best as they could. It works like this. White Edge refers to publicly available information that is completely safe to act upon, but is rarely fully reflected in the market. Black Edge refers to insider information that is non-public but has a potentially material impact on the market, thereby being clearly illegal. And then there's Gray Edge, which as the name suggests, can be rather ambiguous. And notably, the legal ambiguity of Gray Edge is where there are huge opportunities for fortunes to be made in this industry. Let's pause here for a moment and watch these interviews by the Wall Street Journal and Steve Bacon. The author Sheila Kolatkar provides more insight into these edges of insider information, along with a more detailed overview of the events that take place in the book. While the book is largely based on real events and people for which information can be found in the public domain, the author did a great job of organizing the information in a manner that keeps you on the edge of your seat. With its cinematic depictions of insider trading in action, wiretapping and recruiting of informants by the FBI, as well as the high-profile arrests, one could easily mistake it for crime fiction if one wasn't aware of its tie-in to real-life events. In fact, the events that unfolded actually inspired some of the plot lines in the TV drama series Billions. While CPAs should be familiar with the general concept of insider trading, the book does a good job at explaining the concept by way of plot development, and notably, without the need for a formal definition. If you finished the book, you're probably still left intrigued by what should be considered Gray Edge insider information. As the author puts it, this may include comments and conversation from within one's professional network, such as a friend working in investor relations. But at what point does a particular piece of information constitute material, non-public information versus something that is viewed as common knowledge? As a CPA, if you have to make business decisions based on such market trends and information, perhaps the answer varies on a case-by-case basis and may never be well-defined. If you ever find yourself in such a situation where you may have received Gray Edge information, what do? Take this scenario as an example. You are the CFO of a listed company, and you are having lunch with a friend who is the CFO of another listed company in the same industry. He casually mentions, "We are expecting our share prices to drop significantly tomorrow." Hit the pause button and take a minute to reflect on this scenario, and if you like, leave a comment below. Now, based on this scenario, here are some questions you may want to ask in order to determine whether you have been the recipient of Gray Edge information. 1. Is the expectation of the price drop based on industry-wide factors or company-specific considerations? 2. Are these factors and considerations widely known to the public at this point? 3. Does my company, or do I, have a stake in my friend's organization? Here's another scenario. You are catching up with a friend from university whom you haven't seen in a while. The last time you spoke, he was working at a prominent IT firm. When you ask him about work, he replies, "I'll probably be losing my job in a few months. My department is getting consolidated." Hit the pause button and take a minute to reflect on this scenario, and if you like, leave a comment below. And based on our scenario, here are some questions you may be asking yourself about this newfound information. 1. What does consolidation mean in this case? Is this just an internal reorganization, or is there mergers and acquisitions activity underway? 2. Is the potential job loss really due to this consolidation? 3. Is the consolidation widely known to the public at this point? 4. Does my company, or do I, have a stake in my friend's organization? Again, there's no clear-cut answer, nor a clear-cut set of assessment questions. Perhaps the legality of gray edge may always be ambiguous, so some may argue it is best to avoid it in the first place. While you may not be able to avoid being a recipient of gray edge, you can definitely take steps to prevent being the source. It starts with maintaining confidentiality of privileged company information. Here are some ideas. 1. Take precaution when speaking about work outside of work settings. This may include the office elevator, the coffee shop in the office lobby, or the food court across the office. Always maintain the mindset that anything you say or do has the potential of becoming someone else's gray edge. 2. Maintain a clean desk policy at work and at home. This prevents unnecessary eyes from obtaining information pertaining to your work, be it family members, the cleaner, or even someone from another department. On a similar note, lock your computer screen when stepping away and not in use. 3. Be aware of your surroundings when working in public spaces. This is especially true when working off your computer on the train or the coffee shop. If absolutely necessary, use the privacy screen. 4. Avoid disclosing sensitive company information to unnecessary entities. This goes without saying, but this includes immediate family members, relatives, friends, and acquaintances. In closing, the book Black Edge has made us rethink what is considered insider information. While we may not be able to avoid being a recipient, hopefully at this point, you have increased your awareness towards maintaining confidentiality of privileged information. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. To earn verifiable CPD hours, simply access our quiz via the link in the description. Purchase and complete the quiz and earn a certificate for a verifiable CPD. For questions, comments, and suggestions, email us at thecpdsource@gmail.com.